What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're installing a brand new exhaust system on my Toyota Tacoma. This is Magnaflow's all new Overland series performance exhaust system, and it's been really cool because over the last few months, we've been working with them in the development for this exhaust system. Now, not actually designing it, but sending them pictures of my lifted truck here with the high clearance rear bumper, so that way we could get all the measurements and the proper fitment for this exhaust system. So it's designed for the off-road enthusiast, and it also has multiple configurations, which we'll show you here soon, to work with the rear setup that you have for your truck. You can also fit this on stock Tacomas as well, which is pretty neat. So make sure you guys check out Magnaflow. I'll have other information down in the description below if you want to pick up an exhaust system for your truck. So let's go ahead and work on the unboxing for this kit. And we have all these components here for the multiple configurations. What exactly are we looking at in here, do you think? There's a block-off plate of some kind, I think.
Yep, we have the hardware. This is going to be a cool piece because there is one segment that attaches to the muffler that you can either install or put this one on depending on how loud you want it. So you can not only customize the sound, but like Mike said, the configuration can be adjusted for what kind of off-road truck you have.
So this is going to be a really cool setup. So of course we'll show you guys the different sounds for the different configurations, so that way you can hopefully pick it up on camera. Camera doesn't always pick it up.
Yeah, so this right here, my Supra has the same piece, and my straight pipe Supra has no drone. So this right here, if you have it on, is basically going to make your awesome sounding truck not be droney.
So we have a really nice stainless steel kit here.
Yeah, all stainless.
All the hangers, all the piping and everything.
Here's the tip, and the exhaust tip's clamped.
Right here. Oh yeah. So this is the exhaust tip. So as I mentioned earlier, you won't see the exhaust tip, especially with my high clearance bumper. I don't want to see it because of course off-roading, you don't want to damage it. So we have, I believe this is a 2.5 inch piping kit. The exhaust is around 2 inches, and I think some of the piping or the mufflers are around 4.
It's all 2.5 inch tubing.
It's all 2.5. So now that we're up underneath the truck, removing the aftermarket exhaust that I have, this is going to be similar on a stock Tacoma or your stock exhaust. I am using a 14 millimeter for these 2 bolts here. This is a catback system, so we're only going to right here on the piping. And then aside from that, those 2 bolts, the rest are hangers. So we have 1 hanger here, 2 at the back of where my exhaust currently ends, and then there's 1 last hanger that we'll probably be using on the new system. So this is actually a really easy process to do, and we'll go ahead and take this off. All right, so with this exhaust system off the truck now, if you're interested in this, send us a message on Instagram because of course this is for sale. But now I think I'll put it this way and we will start laying out this new exhaust. So by following the instructions here that the kit comes with, of course, we have the first plate or first piping with the muffler. This is going to be for that, what did you call this part? The block off pipe or something?
I forgot the real name, but
NDT chamber.
Oh yeah, no drone technology, something like that?
Something like that.
I can't remember.
And then we have this one, which probably goes something like that. So what do we think is louder?
I would assume this is going to be the loudest configuration.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Okay.
And then I'm not 100% sure. I think you can take this piece and either install it like this, depending on the clearance, or use that U-pipe. I'm not 100% sure. I thought there were 3 ways. Might only be 2, but
yeah, okay.
But pretty cool to have that or not have it, depending on what you want. And then this bracket right here is for the tailpipe. This makes it to where when this tailpipe is installed on here, you can actually rotate this around and really customize how it's gonna fit. So that's super cool that they did that.
So this would actually be really easy to swap out for the different exhaust tone that you want, because on the instructions here it says if you have the U-pipe with the adapter or with this chamber like that, that's going to be the quietest. If you want to go up to a little bit more aggressive, you have the U-pipe with the cap.
Okay.
And then the loudest is just the cap.
Cool.
So technically, once you have it installed,
it's so easy then to
swapping this out is a matter of a few pipes and a few clamps.
Very cool.
So actually, we should be able to do all 3. And I guess we'll go in order. So we'll install everything first, and then we'll start taking some piping off. So for the installation of this new exhaust, we're gonna start with a smaller pipe. I already changed out the hanger to the top of this. So there's only one way that this can go on, of course. And I'm gonna work the upper hanger. Sometimes these can be a little bit sticky if you have some penetrant. That can help with getting these on, but since we just took it off, it should be a little bit easier to do just like that. And so now with the stock hardware, we're going to bolt this into place here, and that is pipe number 1. So now it is time for the muffler. And it's actually pretty cool because there's a plaque here that Brian is going to read for you guys.
Yeah, kind of cool. It just tells you the Overland series, stainless, high clearance, moderate sound, all designed in the USA and built here. So super cool to see.
And so I took that hanger off. Again, the penetrating oil will help, but with the new piping, it's just going to be a little bit stiffer. So I'm going to be putting those on themselves because I can easily slide this back on. I can slide it on the hanger up top, and I put it on a little too far there. There we go. So now I have that hanger. This is the clamp, of course. And so I'm gonna leave all that loose because I can slide this forwards or backwards, just depending on the fitment. All right, so this is the next pipe with the opposite hanger. And it's kind of neat how they've designed the system, because a lot of systems that I've had, the muffler utilized both of these hangers on the back. So we have just a little bit different of a design as I'm getting this hanger on. So I feel like we have to go up and over the axle, and it'll be just like this. And this is where keeping the system loose helps with the initial fitment. So now I have that hanger on. How's that look back there?
Yep.
I think it could go a little bit farther forward, but for now, oh, there we go. All right, so right about there. And last up is the tailpipe portion. So actually, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah. And then we just take this hanger and adjust how we want it to sit.
Oh, I see.
To hold this in place.
So that'll go here and into that hanger.
Yeah, and you can rotate it around, which is cool.
Yeah.
So and the fitment's perfect. It's right under the leaf spring.
I know, right?
And since this is a high clearance bumper, I mean, it's not even going to be in the way.
So with our rough fitment of the exhaust on, we're going to start on the muffler here and work our way back as far as tightening down all of these hangers. So I'm making sure that everything is pushed towards the front of the trucks. That way we have everything lined up and everything has a good connection too. So with a, what do we have here? With a 15 millimeter, it is time to start on these hangers here. So on the tailpipe section now, like I mentioned earlier, I want to make sure this is pushed all the way up, and then we can actually twist it too, utilizing this back hanger. Yeah, so see, we can hold it all the way back here.
Perfect.
And
that's
line
like
it up.
right in between the tire and the leaf spring, which is great.
Does that look good right there?
Yeah, it's perfect.
From here, I can't tell.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But yeah, it looks like this is holding it back. So now we're gonna go ahead and install the rest of this kit. So this will be the quietest configuration for the system. So with this U-pipe here, we're gonna go up in between the exhaust and this hanger, and basically this whole chamber is gonna sit right on top of the muffler. So I did loosen that clamp because we do have some adjustments that we have to make. I'm gonna slide that U-pipe backwards just a little bit, so that way we can get our fitment with this new pipe all the way on. All right, so with all those clamps tightened up, you want to make sure too that this is not touching the muffler, so there is a very small gap in between both of them. So just adjust that U-pipe accordingly to get that gap. With the exhaust now installed, I want to remote start my truck, so that way I can hear it for the first time. And it'll take a second here, but I think, I don't know. Let's let it go here.
Nice.
So it has that V6 rumble to it. It is very quiet compared to the exhaust that I just took off. But now what we want to show you guys is the back-to-back clips of this versus the other configurations for this exhaust. So we'll show you the startup, a few exhaust clips, and then after all of that, we'll get back to you and see our thoughts on all three configurations. after those 3 tests, the camera may or may not be able to pick that up as well as we did in person, of course. But the first setup, as I mentioned earlier, was having this U-pipe along with this portion here, and it definitely was very quiet. So if you'd like an aftermarket exhaust, or you don't want that tailpipe to show, you're doing some off-roading, you don't really want to damage that, or you just want a cleaner look and you really don't want that loud of an exhaust system, really nice setup. So I love how quiet it is. You can't really hear it on the startup and even driving down the road. It definitely has a good tone to it, even with cruise control at 50 miles an hour, which is the fastest that we were in for today's video. It has a good tone to it, very quiet, no drone or anything like that. So it's a great kind of dad spec for the exhaust, if you want to say. If you have kids, you don't really want a loud exhaust, definitely a great option to go with. The second setup, we removed this and we added the cap to the end of this U-pipe, and it got a little bit louder. You could definitely hear it under slightly more acceleration. Same thing though, at 50 miles an hour, really didn't have much of a drone. You could slightly start to hear it, but it wasn't anything inconvenient. Definitely a good setup. I would personally probably go with that setup. However, when we did the last setup, which is what the truck currently has, with that block-off plate right off on the backside of the muffler, to me it sounds really good. It doesn't have a drone, you can hear it a little bit more. So I think of the 3 setups, the one that I currently have or having the U-pipe with the block-off plate are the 2 that I would go with. Now I haven't done any highway driving with this exhaust configuration yet, so if it is a little bit drony on the highway, I can go down 1 level to this next setup here. But either way, I love how configurable this exhaust system is. So if you're a little concerned about how loud the exhaust is, this is a great system to go with. You have 3 different levels that you can choose. If you get tired of one, you can go to the next one. If it's too loud, you can go down a little bit. So it's very nice, and it's really easy to switch these out. So it takes a matter of seconds basically to loosen some bolts, swap them out, and have whatever sound you want. And then we have a great fitment with this Magnaflow exhaust. I love how it tucks up just up underneath the leaf spring there, so it's out of the way when we're going off-road. I don't have to worry about hitting that because there's plenty of clearance there. And I also love how high the exhaust system curves over the rear axle. So if we have that tire stuffed up in there, we're definitely gonna have plenty of clearance. So it's an awesome new Overland system from Magnaflow. Definitely check out their website down in the description below. If you enjoyed today's video putting this new system on the Tacoma, give it a huge thumbs up. I actually did burn myself, so give it a thumbs up for that too. Consider subscribing to our channel if you'd like to stay up to date on our daily uploads. We'll see you guys in the next video.